everybody. Here we are in Mrs. Terry's backyard again. I thought that I might as well set up a desk for myself and have it be sort of civilized, since I spend most of my time out here when I'm not with you. I wanted to show you a few things that I have as far as masks are concerned and keeping safe. Please notice my Easter decoration. My family celebrates Easter, and I put that out by the curb, and I think it's gone viral. I dug around in the recycling and I repurposed some styrofoam sheeting, and I made some ears, and I made it a mask, and I had that little basket, and there you go. Isn't he cute? So whenever we go out, we all need to be wearing those masks. I have one here that was made by my friend. Look how cute this is. Isn't that darling? You know my friend Sherry. She made this, and that's very cute. So I wear that when I go to the store. If that one's in the wash, I wear this one that the doctor gave me. You know this one. This one has wire in it. Remember, don't put them in the microwave if they have wire in them. You know how I burnt up the one that Ursula the chef made for me? Sometimes I wear a bandana. Sometimes I just take this and I look like a cowboy ready to hold up a train. Or actually a cowgirl. And I have this pretty one. This one's my favorite because it has all the butterfly names on it. Isn't that beautiful, this bandana? Here's your butterfly, the Anna Swallowtail, and I have the cage up here in the tree for them to come out, just like we do in the science room. And Monica raises them too. That's our little hobby that we do together. And she's behind the camera right now. And I wanted to show you your state butterfly. This one here is called a California dog face butterfly. And do you notice the puppy face that looks happy and smiling looking to the sides? That's your state butterfly. And you all know that one. I know you know that one. Say it out loud right now. This is the one that we're hoping to get, the mourning cloak that we're hoping to get on the pussy willows. That's why I plant pussy willows. That's why I give you pussy willows when I can. That's the one that we're trying to get. That's the one that'll lay 100 eggs in one spot, and the babies will chew it all up together, go to the next branch, chew it all down. But the nice thing about willows is they just grow new leaves again, so they don't hurt anything. And they all make their chrysalids at the same time, the same hour, on the same day. Very amazing butterfly, a mourning cloak. So this is cool. I mean, you know, you can do nature with your masks too. And then I have this one. Of course, I had to buy this. Look at that. Here's a scarf. And if it's cold, I'll put this scarf on, and it has a whole lot of insects on them. Don't call them bugs. All bugs are insects, but not all insects are bugs. And you know my water bottle. This is the kind of mouth that a true bug has. It sucks blood, or it sucks plant juices, but it can't chew. All bugs are insects, but not all insects are bugs. These are all insects, and maybe some of them are bugs. So there you go. So that's my pile that I keep clean and I wear when I go outside. I try not to go too far from home because I'm older and I'm supposed to stay in. But Monica and I are very, very careful when we do these shows. Are you remembering your hand sanitizer? Don't forget your hand sanitizer. And are you remembering to wipe things with bleach wipes, or to use 1 part bleach and 10 parts water to clean things? Alcohol that you have in the bathroom will be good for killing germs too. And when you get really tired of doing all this stuff and you think you just can't take it anymore, get your Play-Doh out and sniff it, because it smells good. What a relaxing smell. Think about when you play with Play-Doh. I love Play-Doh. I'm standing over by another bee house that I made. I had this little bee statuary guy and thought, wow, you know, I have this extra piece of wood in the side yard. So I drilled holes in the side for bees called mason bees. Those are ones that are solitary. They live alone. And they like to go inside holes and lay 1 egg in there. They line it with the food. They're not honey makers. They feed their babies pollen only, and their larva's inside there. There are none in there right now because the mother chickadees came and ate all of them. So it probably wasn't such a good idea that I put it right below this post where there's a chickadee nest in the box, up there in that clump of leaves. And I can hear them right now. They're peeping, because the parents are feeding them. I noticed they're bringing them a lot of small green caterpillars. But first, they fed them all the mason bees. So I may have to move this to another side of my yard. I noticed on the ground that one of my queen honeybee's daughters had died of old age. She finally pooped out. Here she is. I'm going to hold her up to Monica. See, her mom is 4 times bigger than that. And she's still buzzing around the yard just fine. But the first batch of daughters are dying and the second batch of daughters are coming on. Aren't they beautiful though? I'm going to figure out some way to put this in my fairy house, to make it part of the fairy house, because I think it would be neat. And now I'm going to ask Monica to stop, and I'll move over to the honeybee hive.
Good.
Hi, I'm back. Here I am by my girls, because there's mostly girls. Remember, there's very few drones. They give the spark of life, and then they really do a lot for them. And they're doing fine. Everybody's a little cold. It was a foggy morning. And they're just starting to get going now. And I wanted to make sure today that I open it up and that there are none of these. Monica, can you get a shot of this? Okay. These are cocoons of a moth who lays her eggs inside the hive, and then they eat the wax, which is not eating the bee larva, but if they eat the wax that makes their cells, then they die because they have no cradle to grow up in. So this can be a problem in some beehives. I got this from another beekeeper who was nice enough to give these to me. I'm hoping that pretty soon I can get another quart of honey from this hive. And remember, I'm only putting this here because it's pretty. In Europe, they use these Winnie the Pooh beehives called skeps as real beehives, but it's much harder to clean them and keep them germ-free. So I just put mine there. They can't go inside because I haven't made a hole in it. It's just the basket. But I have to watch out for these. There are other problems we need to watch out for too, like the little arachnid. Remember that word first grade? Spiders, scorpions, ticks, and mites. And there's a kind of mite that will get inside the throat of the bees and will suck them like a vampire from the inside. And that can be a real problem. And sometimes they can get something that makes their wings short and they can't fly. So you always have to keep an eye on them, make sure that they're coming out of their cells and they have full-grown wings so they can fly. There's none of these inside, and they don't look black and skinny from varroa mites sucking all their blood. There's a lot to learn to being a beekeeper, and I'm learning more every single day. My beekeeper's name is Mike Wallace, and I think he's going to be coming over sometime to check the girls and see how the honey production's going. I've noticed they've shifted from the rosemary, which is finishing blooming, and the wild lilac on the back of my pond, to my lemon bush. They're on that one now. And so I wonder what that honey will taste like. I can't wait. Bye. Everybody, so here we are for the Hummer update. So you can see there are no chicks in there anymore. The baby's left. And look at what a cleanup job I have. It's pretty much of a mess. You know, I'm really wondering, did the Victorians know that? That was when Queen Victoria was Queen of England around Abraham Lincoln time. You know that, the 16th president. And the Victorians would catch hummingbirds in a butterfly net. I'm not making this up. They would put them in cages and they would make nectar for them like my hummingbird feeder has. But that's not enough. They didn't realize that they like to eat meat. They would eat little aphids that grow on the flowers. They would eat mosquitoes. They eat little gnats that are on things, tiny flies. Lots of it. Even more of it than the nectar. The nectar was super power juice, and it also gave them liquid, but it wasn't their main food. And every time the Victorian people would do that, they would die. It's the saddest thing when they put them into cages. The father did not help build this at all. It was the mother only. She got the spark of life from him, and then he was just doing nothing but defending that hummingbird feeder right there. Monica, show them the hummingbird feeder again, please. Right there. And he will zoom in and you feel like he's going to poke your eye out because he wants no one else to use that but himself and his mate. That's the only thing he does for her. She built that entire nest herself. She sat on it all by herself. When the chicks hatched, she raced out to get food and bring it back to them and hoped that it wouldn't be such a cold night. And we've had some pretty cold nights over here, like 39, 40 degrees in Saratoga. And they still made it. They're amazing little dinosaurs, aren't they? And that's what scientists believe now, that birds are dinosaurs that did not become extinct, and their scales became feathers. They're made of the same thing, keratin, very same thing. So now I have a big cleanup job, but I was so happy to see it there, and I hope they come back. Remember, don't take bird nests down. Mother birds may reuse them, like the hummingbird might actually reuse this, or they'll take their own materials and build a new nest somewhere else. So the only nests you would ever want to have are ones that blow out of a tree, or by accident maybe your gardener cuts the bush down. This is a good time of year to make sure you check all things the gardener would prune before they're allowed to do it. I need to prune my lemon bush. It's growing all over like a big octopus, but not while the towhees are nesting in there. I'll wait till I know that they're gone. And let me show you something I found at a flea market. Does that help see it? Mm-hmm. This is a silly little cage. I think you're supposed to put a plant pot in it and hang it up, that I bought, and I hung it right, it's only 12 feet from my hummingbird nest. And when she was tired, she would go drink at the feeder, she would take a bath in one of my bird baths, and then she would sit on this little swing. And it's so funny because how ironic, how strange that she would decide to go into a cage to rest. So it gives me a good laugh for the day, and I hope you like it. It was my little steal at the flea market. Monica found one of my little babies from my nest. Look at her. She's all fledged. That means she left the nest, and she's hanging out waiting for Mom to feed her. How cool is that? She hasn't made very much noise. I think she's worried that the blue jay might chase her or the crow and eat her. But look how short her beak is. Her mom's beak would be once more that long. And it'll grow as she gets older, but look how sleepy and cute she looks. This is the box, not on Ollie's grandparents' side, the other side of my yard, that the titmice were in. I think the 5 babies have fledged, but I'm not sure. But I don't open it up to check because I could surprise them, and if I close the door, I could hurt one of them. So I don't even look in there, even though I'm really curious, because I'm so afraid that I'll hurt them. It's just nice to know that they were there, and that's the first time I've ever had titmice in that box, or any birds in that box. This fence was built 2 years ago, and I always put up new birdhouses on them. And that's one of the parents. Do you hear that? So see? Oh, it's right up there. That little gray guy with the little cap on its head. And I wouldn't want to hurt anything, I'm just not sure. But look down here and see how I kind of leave it a little overgrown and slightly weedy. There's a reason for that. A lot of animals come and dig in this leaf mulch. I save all of my leaves and I blow them this way so that they rot down and the decomposers come and they turn it all into good rich soil. A lot of birds like to kick the leaves and find insects underneath this to eat. So if I had everything all mowed and perfect, that would take away a food source for them. So having a little corner of your yard that's kind of wild might be a good idea for you too. And then your parents won't feel guilty about not making it perfect. The animals love it, and that's good enough for me. She has food in her beak.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, she does.
There's food in her baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's good I don't have my sunglasses on. Is all that noise being recorded too? She won't go in. I've sat here for a long time. She won't go in if we're here. She gets really close.
Hold on, she's getting closer. I think she will.
I hope she does, but it will be a first. Oh, here comes the other one. It's got stuff in its mouth too.
Oh, she's doing the, look, she's doing the baby wing thing.